Thank you for the introduction just now. Um, this slide here, basically, I think everybody generally from this area, this is where we are, and we call ourselves this occasion the Borneo Architecture Festival. And the theme is Architecture of Tourism. I would like to do a topic, building context in environment, which basically giving significance to our natural heritage. So we want to build a context for our natural heritage. So Borneo, we have a major incentive here to actually create the heart of Borneo. And this has been declared in 2007 and established in 2010. And it involves 3 countries. One of them is Malaysia, Sabah and Sarawak. 2/3 of Malaysia is here. We have Kalimantan, Borneo, Indonesia, and Brunei. And this initiative actually looking at protecting the rainforest, a huge tract of land, 746,000 square kilometers, bigger than UK. And a lot of plant species, mammals, and birds. I also Googled out this map. This is actually a very interesting map. It not only shows the destination for tourism, but it gives us a picture of what resources we have, what we are presenting to tourism. And if you look at it, most of it is nature-based. So basically, if you look at all this area, it's almost the whole of Sabah, from Semporna, Simpadan area. And then you have Mount Kinabalu. A lot of projects already being done all over, but I want to focus on our travel map today. We are going to go from highland to island, and I'm going to take you from Mount Kinabalu Golf Course, one of my projects there, Maleo Basin, and after that we go to Imba Canyon, and then to the islands, Guyana Marine Resort, Bunga Raya, and a proposed resort in Pulau Suluk, and Borneo Eagle Resort. These are the island resorts. So hopefully I can share with you what I have done and what I'm planning involved in upcoming projects. So we start with Mount Kinabalu. This is a view of Mount Kinabalu from Signal Hill. And below, you can see there's a green area, horizontal green area between the photograph and the sports complex. And that is a bird sanctuary, which is next to Kota Kinabalu itself. And the Mount Kinabalu is above these cloud jagged edges of the mountain and the part of the Crocker Range. And under the clouds, you get this Mount Kinabalu Golf Course. It's a really beautiful place, and you have the clubhouse on the left-hand side. I don't think the pointer is working. There, oh yeah, okay. That is a Mount Kinabalu clubhouse building, 9 holes this way, up and down, and horizontally another 9, 18-hole golf course designed by a famous international golf course designer, Robert Graves. Next. So, no view of the mountain, but we have a building that gives context to the mountain. So we have the roof with jagged edges that goes up and down, and they are basically pyramids about to merge. But before they merge, you have diagonally before they merge, and you have, this one has got 4 peaks, and some of them is axially merging. And this is a drone view, quite a long time ago, taken on one of the events It's not that all the members have got Rolls Royce, but it's a Rolls Royce event. And you actually, if you look at this roof, there are a series of interlocking pyramids that represents the mountain. This gives context to the building, to where it is and how it's placed. There's a small pyramid in the middle there, which, with a triangular glass window that look into this man-made Mount Kinabalu. And from underneath this big one, you have a view of the real mountain. So it's a procession. As you come from the entrance, you go through the building, you'll see this display of context. And we also have a veranda area here, which actually become quite popular because it faces the mountain, and on a good day like this, you'll see the mountain. That's a veranda area and the glass window. And also the shape of the roof and the walls, we emulate the mountain. And again, all the peaks and the valleys. And even inside the windows, the wall give reference to the mountain. And this is underneath the smaller pyramid. That corner there is actually the view to the man-made mountain. And this is underneath the big pyramid. We also show the mountain pyramid with the structure and the big glass window to look at the Mount Kinabalu. And that's what you see. And you can play golf here, a very good tourism attraction. As you play golf, you see the jagged peaks of Mount Kinabalu. And also other peaks of mountain. And these are Dusun ladies from Kundasang region. Next. My next trip, I'm taking you to Malawi Basin Conservation Area and Imbak Canyon and Dana Valley. Actually, this is another major initiative by the government. We are going to, it's basically under nomination now to get this place called Damai UNESCO World Heritage Site. I think it's very close. This area is under the chairmanship of Ministry of Tourism currently. So, and again, like the heart of Borneo, we look forward to this. It become a special place for us to have. So, again, huge area, 3 core area. This is when Malawi Basin was under construction. We don't have Google yet. We have to go and get from Europe this satellite map, which is quite difficult at that time. But you can see that this is a special area where you have a very steep escarpment all around, and that creates basically difficulty of access for people and become not encroached by human. So this is almost like a lost world. People don't come here. And of course, when we first start, there's a lot of expedition, and early expedition failed because of malaria and all kind of thing. But eventually, we have basically with Agatis camp at the very bottom here, there, and the Malawi Basin Study Center, which is working, that's the rim of the Malawi Basin. It's very big, right across to there and back. And you have this layout, working together with DANSET, Danish government personnel. I was the technical personnel at the time, not engaged as an architect, the technical personnel. Basically, when you arrive here, you arrive at that roundabout there, you go up steps, series of steps, and this very long house, which basically relate to the long house, and to create this arrival sense of arrival, because you've been traveling in the jungle for quite a while. And then you have zoning in terms of the layout, where you have the main building, and then you have the accommodation, research area, and also the wetland, which is created when we do the road here. Right, okay. This is a picture of that when you arrive. It's a very long house. And then you have this is the entrance and the upper deck, where you can see the view of Malayalam Basin Rim. Okay, this is actually this project in the jungle. You create a safe zone, and this is the accommodation area looking through across the wetland. It become a natural wetland now. And early days, you also get the opportunity when you do the project to hike into the, I think we are the third group that goes in, and that's our uniform. And you trek for about 4 hours, and then you arrive at this building. It was not built by me, not designed by me, but it's called the Camel Trophy. And all the building material is brought in by helicopter. And architecture inside, you have the sleeping area, and then you have veranda, washing area below, and the dining room. And a bit of trend here, you have already corrugated metal cladding for the wet area. And when you go into the jungle, you can climb up 30 meters of this lookout platform to see the whole nature around you. I don't have those photographs. And as you walk into the trek into the jungle, you see things right in front of you. Mushrooms. But you notice there is something here. That's a leech. So you, yeah, they suck your blood. But that's why we have those uniform when you go in. And there are other things that you see when, and this is not even looking, it's just next to your track. And of course, there's very famous heath forest, a forest of pitcher plants, and the grand waterfall, the Malayalam waterfall. There are 7 tiers. This is only one of the, I think this is the 3 of them. And if you look at that, that's the scale of the waterfall. So I go a bit into philosophy here, very quickly. Pattern language, where basically any language you have the grammar, you have the syntax, and you have the pragmatics in term language, the where and the how, and then when you cross-reference them, cross-indexing, you create a pattern language, a language. And in architecture context, we build up a vocabulary. And this, the vocabulary is actually a collection of patterns where we can develop the patterns, we transform, we change the pattern, and when you have a whole series of patterns, as it grows, it changes, it morphs, we call it morphology. So in morphology, it's from very, say, a simple pattern. I actually, Arthur Soyu was a naive artist, which was used for in Kenyan as an illustrator for a book for children. Very simple birds, and this is his mind map, his pattern of the world, where you have, as you get more elaborate, birds and fauna. And then you have the tree of life with understanding of other animals. And he also have an overall picture of nature, And you have from the mountain to the forest, river, and it also what's under the um, sea as his world environment. So this is his nature. In pattern development, we actually look at as architects, we draw, we create pattern, and this is one of the I call leaf pattern, which actually is based on symmetry. We call it symmetry theory because it relates to left and right and rotation and all. It doesn't mean just left and right, and geometry and transformation. So, way up there, at the top, you see a very simple pattern. When you rotate, it becomes 2, and you rotate again, it becomes a circle. So this is basically a simple geometrical exercise, and you start hatching it, coloring it, and you form a series of stages. And basically, it relates to your consciousness of the environment. And basically, in the jungle, you have all kinds of understanding of what is nature. And animistic, and traditionally, a lot we are animist, where we believe in spirits, things are in spirits. And animistic ecology is an understanding of nature in these terms, and actually is being used for many, many millennia, and based on intimate knowledge of the environment. This is a quotation from Fukuzaki, who is very interested, who researched into the Malay animism and Shinto animism. Actually, every day we even say, itu ada semangat, itu tiada semangat. You know, we attach life force to objects. And that's basically what we tend to, even if you don't believe in it, there's somewhere in your consciousness. So during Imbak Canyon opening, we have practitioners of this understanding who we engage to do ritual, to perform. And this is basically not a dying art. It will be part and parcel of our consciousness, even in the future. So whatever pattern we do, things that we do have impact on nature. And so I go into what's Imbak Canyon, which is the next project. Actually, Imbak Canyon is a big valley. It's a canyon. And again, because of the shape of the topography, people cannot easily access, so they become preserved naturally. And we come and then we gazette and we make sure that it remains so, because if we don't, eventually it will all be gone. So to get to Imbak Canyon, you have to drive. You have to go in right at the top here. Right at the top, you have Tongot. Before Tongot, just before Tongot, you turn in, you go into Kampung Imbak. Kampung Imbak, and then you come down to. It's 6 hours of drive from a.k.a. But the last bit is quite rough. And I think at this stage, they have gravel, but you know when you throw gravel in the jungle, they get swollen by the soil. So this will be like forever maintenance, which is one of the problems for our jungle project. And that is Dr. YD, third from the left. And you see that at the back there is the one of the other side of the Imbak Canyon. So the site is actually found by them, by Yayasan Sabah Group. Well, that's me. This is site clearing. And this is the layout for Imbak Canyon. So, I mean, after Malaya Basin, you learn a bit more, and then you get a bit more ambitious. So now it's a bit more organized. this is a second bite, another opportunity to look at what are we doing in our jungle, and what is the meaning, where's the context, what are we doing. So basically now is an opportunity to get a unique set of language, design vocabulary in terms of pattern, in terms of identity for Maleo Basin, in Bak Canyon. So actually the zoning is there also. This site is discovered by the Yayasan Sabah group. And so in terms of the roof form, there is a whole series of progression to arrive at all these different forms, but they are related through geometry, through transformation. And then they're all related, no? And they create a morphology. So our building, what we do in the jungle shows how we care about our heritage. And this roundabout is an interesting thing where we create a dialogue between the buildings. At the same time, they don't all just focus inwards. There's opportunity to spiral out. So they don't all point to this one center. That's basically the language also. So this is the conference building at the bottom, the rest house on the left-hand side. And as you rotate, you can see like the conference building is in axis with the lab, and the rest house where you actually don't have building in front of the arrival road, bad feng shui, things like that. And this is the main one below is the hostel for students. They point to the beginning of the accommodation. There's the VIP lodge, conference room on next to it, and the rest house, parking area, and that's the classroom, Environmental Ecology Center, EE Center. Again, as you go around, and it creates this rotation and dialogue. And the building itself is a series of pavilions. So after you've been traveling, you want to sit under a pavilion, a hut. And when you connect the hut together and create the symmetry, you form the building. And at the same time, what we call visibility and permeability is where what you can see, where you can go, and what you cannot, what you want to hide, which is not part of what your activity is. So we introduce levels to separate accommodation, kitchen, and then you have the sitting area in steps until you go down to the deck at the bottom here, which is right next to the river, which is the Imbak River. So that is a 3D image, and this is already completed. I don't have that. And then the river also, actually, a lot of the unit is facing the river, so it also influences your geometry, where every time you come in from the back, your view is in front, across on the other side. So building layout also have to address this. This is giving context to the environment. And that's the river is just next to all this unit here. The one nearby is the researcher's assistant accommodation. And also, you study the geometry of very simple gable, but this too is on top of a square, but when you merge, you can get another shape. You get more elaborate, you're creating morphology. So when after a few more process, you arrive at another building, basically culmination of all the rotation, symmetry, and transformation. And you look at, that's a 3D version of the surround. And one thing I discovered interesting, building orientation here, the sense, where's the context? This context is all the way to Mecca in terms of religious terms. So you suddenly, it's just a, when I put this in, I suddenly realized, oh, this one is not even the trees or forest. It's way, way, way out there, thousands of kilometers away. This is what is built. Actually, a design build project. I prepared the design for design build. And that is the Imbak waterfall, very famous, and a lot of visitors will come here. And next, we go to another one. This is Tengku Abdul Rahman Park, all the islands. Basically, we are halfway through. We need to look at the Tengku Abdul Rahman Park. Now Kota Kinabalu is on the bottom there. And when you overlay, so I'm going to take you to Guyana Marine Resort, Bunga Raya Island Resort, and Suluk Island Resort. Now Guyana is actually private land. It's next door to the Tengku Abdul Rahman Park. Of course, without the map, it could be anywhere, any part of the island. Now, Guyana Marine Resort, the heart of Guyana Marine Resort, is actually the Marine Ecology Research Center. This is the significance of this development is the protection of the environment and taking care of the corals. And this is that Palm Villa, we call it the Palm Villa. There are 8 of them, and each is named after a giant clam. Now this giant clam is in the red list of endangered species. In fact, 2 of them already declared gone, but they managed to successfully reproduce and propagate and then plant it back into the surrounding sea. So that's the giant clam. Actually, this is the oldest one from baby. And that is the Palm Villa. And you can see the context is not just that, but it's what underneath. That's a Palm Villa. I just want to share a bit on the layout, which is quite luxurious. A huge building, only one bedroom. But if you are able to save endangered species and bring them back, I say have a right to enjoy a bit of luxury. And next door is the MERC, which is they have theaters and research lab, these are all privately funded. It's not a government project. And that's a picture of the restaurant, jetty, arrival, going to the restaurant on this side, the swimming pool and spa, and boats mooring. This is floating jetty. So we leave the Guyana and we go to Bunga Raya, and not every day very nice weather, sometimes very rough sea. And this is Bunga Raya Island Resort. Actually, this is the one that received an award, Best Resort Development in an international award. I just want to share a little bit here, more on the context of this building. Actually, it covers the whole bay here, and this is actually inside Tengku Abdul Rahman Park. So it's part of the sustainable development of the park, where they allow concessions, 30 years, maybe extended some more, another 30 if I'm not mistaken, and after that it goes back to the government. So, but all this development is done in a very careful manner, environmentally, EIA studies and all that. And also, you can't even cut the tree without permission. It's very restricted, but it's very unique also. A lot of other countries, when you have a conservation park, they say nobody can go in. In Malaysia, we have this. And early days, during construction, they asked for drawings, but it's full of rubbish and construction. So I turn it into, using a software, into a watercolor, and all the rubbish goes away. You become artistic. And you have a jetty that look, wow, you know, beautiful, but bricks and stones everywhere. This is when it's built. Looking back back to the sea. This is Police Bay. Polish Bay, Police Bay, there's so many different names that given. It's a rainy day at that time, but you get the impression a beautiful beach and basically controlled by and also managed by the resort. And one of the buildings that we built there is this pavilion in front of the main building, which people use for weddings and private dinners. And they actually relate to traditional building. This is the context of this resort, looking at cultural heritage of Sabah. And this is actually this layang-layang, we call it filial element, which actually from Southeast Asia, right up, even Shinto has got this element. It's common to our, maybe it's linked to also the animism belief. And then you have artistic impression of the main building. Yeah. Make it look like, wow, beautiful, you know. But when we build, we don't cut the ground. So we built it on steel, and very similar to the indigenous people. They don't use heavy machinery. And when we build, even on a steep slope, we will build them on steel. So of course, this one has got engineering, no shaking. It's still there now. And then, and basically, we touch the ground very lightly. We don't cut, we don't, this is a picture before the artistic. You see all the construction material down there. This is many, many years ago. They are very nice now. One of the items that we do is this suspension bridge that goes to the spa. It's just across a small gully, but this spa is actually between two rivers. One of the items for context in terms of this development is using a Murut pattern. Murut pattern actually is one of the few language that is in use before with meanings. They're not just decoration. And although it has become less and less, older people losing the knowledge, but they become ethnic identifier now. But this is one of the things that we want to try and see whether it can become more research into. And of course, I'm guilty of using it for decoration also. But I also take the pattern from very basic pattern to taking only one little motif and redevelop it by reflection, rotation, a mirror, and then using it to create furnitures and lighting. So we also use fabrics to create this look in one of the rooms. That's the bay below. So the next one, this is Tanjung Aru, just outside here. Sun. Okay, Pulau Suluk, a very, very interesting one. Pulau Suluk there is a proposal which basically is one of the island, the Guadraman, and when you survey, you find that the sand pit is actually not pointing down, pointing up, but they do that seasonally, up and down, up and down. But the real important thing is that if you survey carefully, the island is actually much bigger. They have live coral under the sea. And that is where, visually you don't see it, but this is what the nature is there. So actually what I've done in this proposal is to create a horizontal corridor following the contour line, and then I call it corridor in the forest, where you can use bicycle, you just go around. And the vertical part is the elevator, like in a hotel, the lift, and the diagonal, what do you call it, sloping lift is quite common, they call it funicular. which go right up to the top. Swimming pool is up there to hold water for fire protection. So corridor in the forest is perfectly horizontal, and then you create a platform, lightweight construction. You don't even, you can create a system whereby you don't touch the ground, you just use the piling and move along as though you build a flyover. And then the rock is quite stable. You have a quite good geology, and the units are actually on a steep slope, but you don't cut the ground. And if you look at the trees, they're vertical and quite mature. That means it is quite stable. So basically, the idea is to create this horizontal right around like a crown, like a string of pearls. So this project actually has already got EIA approval, what do you call it, the draft approval, but it was KIV. Maybe Dato can look at what's happening. This one is KIV by the previous government. Next, we are going to Bungaraya. Borneo eagle. You see the eagle up there? The resort takes its name from this eagle. This one actually is a linear development. The whole, again, is inside a park. The whole resort is actually a single line. And you can go, that is half a kilometer, so 1.5 kilometer. We are doing only phase 1, which is about 1 kilometer long. And every unit is at the intersection between the sea and land. So actually, nobody behind you, and in front of you is the sea, behind you is the jungle. So you arrive at this jetty just now. And underneath, you have the famous Pulau Tiga coral, which was what this park was for research purposes only before. They don't open to the public. Now we have a concession for development. There's an arrival at the jetty to continue the sense of the sea. There's a saltwater fountain, and also become the balancing tank for the pool for the villa. They're also using salt water because we have a water conservation issue. And when you arrive, this building represents the eagle. And you have left and right, and continue again water and bridge onto the building. And when you stand here, it's a transparent building, but transparentness, so that you can see as you arrive, the forest is behind you, and then you turn around, there's the sea. You're standing on the same spot. So this building is reflective of the design context where you are at the intersection between sea and jungle. And that's the tail of the bird. From the further away, you see the tail of the bird. Through the forest, you see the branches and trunk, and the pattern in the tessellation in the screen actually reflects this. You have the tessellation, 2 patterns. One represents the sea, and the other represents the land. And then, so basically, the lounge area, you see the land and the sea, and the view. So building reflects the environment. That's the context. And also the separation between spaces. And one of the shape where you have the services below, so that the guests basically think that they are, you order food, it's just appear, you don't know where is the kitchen. One of the elements in this project is the wine pavilion. Because we don't want to extend the building to change it from the bird, we turn it into a very simple box, and with a bridge, it's like a stone tied to the bird. And even this pavilion, we have the 2 windows only, one window to the sea, the other window to the land. Okay, and then you have this, the bridge that links the building. That's the corner where the beginning of the bridge. Back of house, very simple and hidden, where at certain point you only see a single line, the screen, and then you have a nighttime picture. You can see the buggy track behind. This is back of house services. Swimming pool, front and back. You see the sea this way, you turn around, a backdrop mountain from the swimming pool. So all of them, even the gym is one line, single line, and pavilions. And also the pavilion facing the sea, we always have reference to the view. You take a photograph, front of the door, you see the both element there. This is context of the, and then you have the main building looking back. We use bigger jantra here. At night, you light up the trees. And one of the things that I was very interested in is that pavilion, where by doing transformation and rotation, we create a new vocabulary for the place. And this is what the jetty is. It represents a new language, where it's traditional form, but yet it is modern. It is new. It's a new element that we can put back into nature and our own pattern, and also become your synergy with context and language. So, last slide. That's our jetty at night on the way home. Terima kasih.